Hey everyone, Bible Nerd here. Every Tuesday on my Facebook page, I post trivia questions. So I thought it'd be fun to go through and answer those questions after the day is over. See how many you get right, see how many you get wrong. Check out my Facebook page at Bible Nerd. Every day I post something different. So I have a different theme for each day. You can check out the content there as well. But love to have you be a part of the Facebook page along with the YouTube channel. So check out my video for today and answer the questions that were posted today on Facebook. The first question posted today was, why did they hurry to take Jesus off the cross? A, Roman rule said he could not be there overnight. B, because Passover was coming. C, because they had others in line for crucifixion. Or D, to hide the body because he was still alive. The answer is B, because Passover was coming. If you look at John chapter 19 in verse 14, it references this. It also references this in verse 42, that they wanted to take him down before Passover. So he didn't want to leave him up there. There's a lot of prophecy that talks about it as well, that he was the lamb, that he was the last sacrifice, the spotless lamb. There's a lot of references to what the cross did and all the prophetic things that happened because of the cross. So the interesting thing I want to bring up as well is the Sabbath day and Passover started on what we would call Friday night when the sun went down to Saturday night when the sun went down. So a lot of our calendars, modern calendars, go from midnight is when the day starts and then ends the midnight of the next day. So that's when our calendars kind of start. And most Christians celebrate their Sabbath day or honoring the Sabbath on Sunday, the day that Jesus rose from the grave. So that's where it got moved for Christians to kind of celebrate that day on Sunday. But the actual original Sabbath, the original day, was Friday night at sundown to Saturday night at sundown. On to question number 2. From Daniel's dream, what does the ram represent? Is it A, the Babylonian Empire, B, the Antichrist, C, kings of Media and Persia, or D, Nebuchadnezzar? The answer is C, kings of Media and Persia. In Daniel 8, there's the first encounter with the angel Gabriel. So Daniel has a vision that's full of these goats and rams and these other things, and he's seeking the meaning behind this vision. And he runs into somebody that looks like a man, and all of a sudden a voice comes out and explains or tells Gabriel to explain to the Son of Man, Daniel, what the vision was about and what those rams were. So in chapter 8, verse 20, it specifically says, the ram which you saw having the two horns, they are the kings of Media and Persia. Chapter 8 in Daniel is awesome. There's incredible vision imagery there. And like I said, it's the first time the angel Gabriel is mentioned. This is the first time that his character comes on the scene, and he's instructed by a voice to tell Daniel what his dream meant. So the answer to this is C. All right, on to the next question. Who clinched an agreement, gaining some land and a wife by removing his shoe? Is it A, Saul, B, Boaz, C, Lot, or D, Solomon? The answer to this is B, Boaz. It's found in the book of Ruth, chapter 4, verses 8 through 10. This book of Ruth is a very short little book, but I really enjoy it because it gives you a little backstory about the Israelite people, some of the traditions that they followed, and some of the ways that they dealt with death, or how they dealt with redeeming somebody that had somebody that passed away, how they dealt with the fact that now that your husband passed away, you have no children to bear. So there's a lot of stuff that goes kind of backstory of the Israelite people that is just really heartwarming. So Naomi is the mother-in-law who had two sons. They both pass away, and they have two daughter-in-laws. So the two daughter-in-laws are not Israelites. They're from the land of Moab. And so one of them decides to go back to their home country, and Naomi's kind of encouraging both of them, hey, go back, go find another husband, go back to your home country. I'm an old widow. God's dealt with me badly. She's just in a state of just mourning her two sons. One of them decides to leave. The other one, Ruth, decides to stay with her and go back to Judah. So they get back there. They're very poor. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do. And even Naomi changes her name to Maro, which goes from Naomi, which means my joy, to Maro, which means my sorrow. She's just deeply grieving the two sons. They don't have any grandkids. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens when you're not passing on the family line and not having children. I mean, that's a big part of keeping your generation going and keeping your family line, your history moving forward. So the story is kind of how Ruth gets redeemed through Boaz, who is a landowner that had this field. And part of the Israelite tradition is you would leave some wheat on the edges for the people that were downtrodden or homeless or just poor people could kind of get the leftovers, so to speak. So Boaz notices Ruth and starts leaving a little extra on purpose and starts really noticing her. Well, it gets to the point where he wants to maybe marry her and finds out, well, he can't. There's somebody else in line that's supposed to redeem her. So this story about this shoe is basically where he takes over and redeems Ruth and becomes additional land and also gets her to be his wife. So let's read the actual passage. So if you go to verse 8 in chapter 4, therefore the close relative said to Boaz, buy it for yourself. So he took off his sandal. And Boaz said to the elders and all the people, you are my witness this day that I have bought all that Emelech, I believe is what it is, and all that was from the hand of Naomi. So he's redeeming this family. It's just a great story. The book of Ruth is just awesome. All right, last question for today. Matthias was elected by the apostles to replace Judas. Who initiated this election? Was it A, Peter, B, James, C, John, or D, Jesus? The answer is A, Peter. In Acts chapter 1, the last couple verses explain this process and what had happened. So Judas had betrayed Jesus and eventually killed himself. The money that was used to betray Jesus was used to buy this field. So there's talk about that as well. But then Peter basically says, okay, we need to replace Judas. So we have kind of our original 12. And he decides to elect 2 people that were there from the very beginning. So these are people that were there from John baptism, that had seen everything. So they wanted to make sure they had somebody that were there from the very beginning. So they came down to these 2. So they asked God to basically say, okay, pick one of these 2. So they cast lots. The lots is actually a common theme that Israelites used to do. They even would have these sacred dice that they would even use at times. It's described in Exodus. I think it's described a couple times in the Old Testament to make sure that it was God's chosen person, that there was no influence by man. There was almost a sense of fate, or this person was chosen because of the lot. So that's what they wanted to make sure. So they elected the 2. Peter elected the 2, and the lot fell on Matthias. Well, how fun was that? Trivia Tuesday. So check out my Facebook page at Bible Nerd. I post different things every day. I have themes for each day. Monday is motivational or quote Mondays. I'll put a bunch of quotes up. Tuesday is Trivia Tuesday. Wednesday is usually tied to music. So I'll post music videos or things that are really inspiring on Christian music and things like that. Thursday, I usually do a Thankful Thursday. So I have all these challenges and stuff throughout the day that's a lot of fun. And then Friday, I have a discussion or a topic that I'll bring up and just get some interaction, get some people talking back and forth. So it's really a lot of fun. Love where this is going. I love that you're a part of it. Please click subscribe, like, and comment. Let me know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. I just love going on this journey with you and can't wait to see where God takes us. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and God bless.